if I were Gina's lawyer, I can't imagine settling this case. See, the thing about Disney is they have so many relationships and so many different kinds of relationships.
Studio.
Absolutely. I would say, listen, it doesn't have to be in the press release, but there's a difference, exactly as Tom says, there's a difference between you'll never work in this town again.
It's the loophole bullshit I've ever seen in my life. And then there's the other side of it too, where it's like, yeah, I mean, I see it as a win, I guess, for Gina. But, you know, at the end of the day, did she really, we have yet to see what's going to come of this. If she's in Star Wars again or gets some kind of movie deal, then that's one thing. But otherwise, I see this as another big corporation writing a check and it making it go away. Because until she's actually vindicated somehow, I see no apology. I see no admittance of wrongdoing on Disney's behalf. And the statement they put out is, no offense, Ron, but some of the most lawyer speak I've ever seen in my life. The whole, we are investigating opportunities to possibly work with Gina Carano, maybe someday in the future. That'll probably never happen, right? Until she's actually in a movie that's a studio picture, as far as I'm concerned, the general public still sees her as canceled and blackballed.
But there's a difference between, exactly as Tom says, there's a difference between you'll never work in this town again and working. And I would say she's got to be in 2 projects in the next 2 years. I don't care what studio it is. I don't care what the tombstone says. You're going to make it happen.
But I agree with you, Ron. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether she's in Star Wars or something else. She has to be where, so the perception is out there. But as long as there's possibilities out there, as long as Disney, they have to get her in something to take it look like, no, she's not canceled anymore, kids. That's the most important part to this whole thing.
That is the only way I could see recommending to my client, especially one who does not need money as such. You get her back in the business. And I really don't care what you say. We can make it look to all the public like a draw, but she's got to work again, because the way you left it, she wasn't going to work. You get her into something. That's how I think it's going to go. And I would say she's got to be in 2 projects in the next 2 years. I don't care what studio it is. I don't care what the tombstone says. You're going to make it happen. She's got to get back into the
But we have to remember, this is a company that prioritizes ideology over profit.
Now, you know, Dante, you know Hollywood. Now that Disney has said, hey, we're going to shake and make up and we're going to look for something to work with her in the future. You think that's for real?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That they have no intention of working with her again. That's something that they say to try to save face, right? Look, here's the thing. It's not even in her best interest to work with them again. You know what I mean? They're saying this to try to appease. Now, the ironic thing is, if they actually did do something with her, they might make some money. Like, people might actually go watch their shit, right? But, Disney, they're not that smart, so they're not going to do that. You know, they're
no Mando, Grogu, Gina.
Oh, look, they decided to put her in that movie. That movie would probably make money.
It would. Yeah. Right now, I have zero interest in watching Mando and Grogu, but if Gina showed up, I think a lot of people would go and check it out because it's the return of Cara Dune.
But we have to remember, this is a company that prioritizes ideology over profit. Now, unfortunately, no, this was all phony. This is all fake. They're not going to work with her.
If you don't really have the file, you don't know what the limitations of your client, what is dragging on your client. It's so easy to second guess. There's an entire industry, all my friends on LawTube, second guessing other lawyers.
I agree with you, Ron. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether she's in Star Wars or something else. She has to be in a studio picture or 2 for the public to see her, so the perception is out there, because otherwise she is still in the same place she was when she filed this lawsuit. And I agree with you. Like, dragging this lawsuit to its inevitable ending, even if she would have won or lost, doesn't really matter, because she would have lost in the perception of, it would have made her unworkable in Hollywood. Like, nobody would want to work with her, and they already don't. But in this case, with her settling, at least opens the door. And as long as there's possibilities out there, as long as Disney fulfills some sort of, they have to get her in something to kind of make it look like, no, she's not canceled.
So Ron, here's my question. Since she took on Disney, one of the biggest entertainment giants in the world, in your opinion, is this like a one-off win? Or are we going to start seeing a sign that cancel culture is starting to lose in court?
What's really important here is that she won the motion to dismiss. She got past the motion to dismiss, and that's a really important precedent. It is a landmark case, even if it isn't a case that necessarily will control future cases. That's when Gina won, and nothing else really matters. What matters is that Disney did have to eat humble pie here. That's the win. And what it mostly means more than anything else is that companies are going to be a little bit less bold if anyone wants to do this again, and it will happen again,